Welcome to Washington East to West Sports. This is episode 18. I am Matt Beatty, joined alongside, as usual, by Sean Beatty and Kevin Ardall. And anyone out there who wants to give their takes on the Seahawks, the Mariners, the Kraken, give us some old Sonics takes. We don't care. Just give us some Washington takes. Tweet at us. I am at Beatty_Matt. Sean is at Sean_Beatty. Kevin is at Kev Believes, the first E in Believes being a 3. Smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on the Eli Network. Just find us. You'll find us somewhere. Just follow us. Let us know what you think about everything that we're talking about. But gentlemen, let's jump right into it and let's start. You guys had your predictions. We're gonna get into that. Don't worry. But can we just get a little applause for the NFC West champion, Seattle Seahawks? Can we just get a little applause? Anybody else? No, just me.
No,
Oh,
just
okay,
you.
just me. Okay, so
Yeah, one finger.
oh, one finger applause. Okay.
It's a golf clap. Golf clap.
I'm surprised Kevin won't do it. He has this new Let Russ Cook shirt on, and he won't even give
Oh,
us
yeah.
full applause right there.
Because we're not letting Russ cook. That's why.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's get right into it. So the Seahawks won yesterday, not yesterday. Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams, 20-9. They clinched the NFC West with the win. So just a few statistics so everybody knows. Russ was 20 of 32, 225 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Carson led them on the ground, 16 carries, 69 yards, 4.3 average. Russ had the rushing touchdown for the Seahawks. Leading on the receiving end was DK Metcalf, 6 catches, 59 yards. Tyler had 3 for 44. Jacob Hollister had 2 for 17 and a touchdown, and what we can call a revenge touchdown. We're going to get there in just a little bit. And then on the defensive end, Jordan Brooks and Jamal Adams and DJ Reed all had 8 total tackles to lead the team. And then on the other side of the ball, Jared Goff, 24 of 43, 234, 1 pick, no touchdowns. Running the ball, Darrell Henderson, 12 carries, 62 yards, 5.2 average. And then on the receiving end, Cooper Kupp was the leader with 8 catches for 66 yards. Eastern Washington's own, but we don't like you against the Seahawks as much, Coop. And then Josh Reynolds, 6 catches for 65 yards, also kind of led the way there. So, guys, I'm going to start with this. I predicted this game, right? You didn't. So let's just start. Sean, why do you think your prediction didn't occur? What did the Seahawks do to basically ruin your prediction?
The Seahawks didn't do anything. The two things that happened were the Seahawks got a little lucky and got some bounces, and Jared Goff blew chunks all over himself during this game. That's the two things that allowed the Seahawks to win. Is that you want the short answer? That's the short?
Yeah, sure. That's a short answer. Kevin,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna go a little. It's a little bit more, in my opinion, a little bit more than what Sean. Yes, what Sean said was a big contributor to that. Jared Goof, as a lot of people are now calling him on Twitter, showed up and pretty much, yeah, it was a defensive game back and forth. The Seahawks defense, the scheme wise, we were covering a little bit better than what we normally did when I was going back and watching the film, with the exception of Shaq. We'll get to that when we get to the plays, because Shaq kind of got his shit pushed in a little bit on about half of this stuff. But the overall, like the little scheme stuff, that like the middle and out stuff that they like to do, the outside perimeter play and stuff that the Rams like to mix in on us, it was just fully covered, and Jared Goff didn't really have anything to do. A Rams beat writer did post that for the first half, that was the most pressure that Jared Goff had ever had in any half in his career in the NFL, which was kind of nutty. And I went back, I was like, there's no way. So going back and looking at the footage in the first half, it was actually, there was a lot of pressure on him, to be honest. There were some plays that were well blocked, and like, not to say that he was getting sacked, but he was in a hurry. He did Jared Goof things, anywho, and we all know, as we saw with the Super Bowl, like when you get in Jared Goff's face, he becomes Jared Goof and just makes terrible, horrible decision making. And that's kind of what we said in other previously, podcasts before the first game, is you got to get in Jared Goff's face to make him play terrible, or else the Sean McVay scheme will go to work and stuff happens. Most of the time in the previous pass, we haven't gotten Jared Goff's face and coverage kind of breaks down, but most of the time Jared Goff maybe had 3 to 4 seconds max to where coverage actually, for the most part, was very solid. like other than Shaq, like I said. But even then, Shaq had some plays that were where he was kind of pretty much on his guy. Um, Overall, this defense played better, but there's still room to. We still haven't seen yet, and this is why everybody's so excited. And Jamal Adams is an idiot. We're not the best defense in the league. We're nowhere near it. He's hyped, which I get. You know, he's the first time he's
It's
made
fine.
the
He
playoffs.
could be hyped. He could be hyped.
Yeah, it's the first time he's made the playoffs. You know, he was with the Jets for 3 years. I don't blame him for being hyped. You know, he gets to have a playoff run. But like when he goes up against an Aaron Rodgers, a Drew Brees, it's gonna be a different story, boys and girls. Like just saying, like I'm kind of going on a
Tangent.
tangent. Yeah, I'll let you guys go.
Can I talk about why I think it was more the Rams than the Seahawks?
Hold on. As the person who predicted the game correctly, let me
Okay.
just give me my takes here. So I do agree with what you both are saying. Jared Goff was not good, but we did talk about how to throw Jared Goff off his game, which was pressure, and that's exactly what they did, which was good. That was good from the defense. We've talked a lot about the defense and how poor they have played this season, but when you look at their body of work over the last 6 or so games, we always talk, have they turned a corner? Have they turned a corner? I don't know if they've turned a corner. I think they are more comfortable with everybody that's in the system now. I think everybody's mostly healthy. I mean, DJ Reed has cemented himself at that spot. Even I think when, Quentin Dunbar and Trey Flowers come back, I think that's his spot. The linebackers have been solid all year. And, the pass rush, we'll talk about Snacks, I'm sure, at some point, but they brought him in because he was hurt, and now he's he was a healthy scratch, and now he wants out. And I think we saw why in this game, because they were able to get pressure on him with the guys they have. Rasheem Green, Carlos Dunlap, Alden Robinson, LJ Collier. Like, these guys were getting to Jared Goff and getting in his face exactly what we said they had to do in order to win the game. And Cooper Kupp, he'll pick us apart every game. I don't think there's any way we're going to stop that. He's going to sit in that zone, and he's just going to get his 8 yards or 9 yards every catch, and Robert Woods will get his, and Higbee and Everett, they didn't have a great game, but they were involved quite a bit. But overall, I think you've got to give credit to this defense at this point. I mean, they held them to no touchdowns when Sean McVay is, an offensive genius, and he's been the kryptonite to Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll deserves some credit. I know you guys don't like to hear that, but I think he deserves some credit.
I have a take with that later. Well,
Okay.
I'll give him some credit, but
Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think he deserves some credit for finally, figuring out the puzzle of Sean McVay and winning this game and having that defense be solid to where they didn't give up really any big plays. They, held them to only field goals. And, you can say, the offense for the Rams just wasn't functioning. And it's also partly because of their defense playing so well, the Seahawks. And I think it is also partly because in that second half where he hurt his thumb, he's clearly wincing. He's clearly in pain, and that's going to affect your accuracy. As Sean always says, accuracy is important. So that is going to affect your accuracy. Now, Jared Goff's not the most accurate quarterback to begin with, so that's going to really hurt him. But I think overall, the defense really deserves some credit here. And, I'll give credit where credit's due. Russ and the offense scored when they had to. I mean, they came out in that second half, put them ahead, and then the defense did what they needed to do to stop them down there. And then it just kind of seemed like the Seahawks were just waiting for their moment. And when we all thought they were going to run the ball down there at the end, kind of take some clock away, you see Jacob Hollister get his revenge, where he was stopped last year at the 1 yard line against the 49ers. And this one he hauled it in and put the Seahawks ahead for good. So overall, I mean, sure, we can criticize this, we can criticize that. But overall, I think the Seahawks played a pretty good game, and they're the division champs. So, I'll let you guys get into criticism. Sean, go ahead.
Okay, about Pete Carroll. Yeah, he deserves credit, but I want to know why he gets credit, but when the defense was playing shitty, no one talked about him. You can't get the credit when it's going well and then not have any of the blame when it's going poorly.
I don't think anybody on this podcast did
but
not.
That's all,
Yeah,
all I saw online
yeah,
was
I know. Yeah.
Pete Carroll turned this defense around. I go, no, you either live with all of it or live with none of it. You don't get the good and only the bad. That's the same what goes for Russell Wilson. If it's offense is going good, you're amazing. You're going to win the MVP. If it's not, it's on you. You're the quarterback of an NFL team. Offenses run and move through a quarterback. I mean, we all know that that's why in the past, an offense that you're allowed to throw, and they're allowing Russell to throw more. And so Russell needs to step up more. So what I will say why I think it's less with the Seahawks, more with the Rams. I charted why drives stopped and what they did for each one. So the Rams' first drive stopped because they dropped a first down pass. The second drive stopped because they dropped a first down pass. The third drive stopped because the Seahawks stopped him. The third drive stopped because Jared Goff missed a complete wide open touchdown. Jamal Adams then dropped the ball, but Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they're all going to complete that pass, and that's a touchdown. That is not, they settled for a field goal. They also did drop a ball on they dropped a ball that would have created 4th and 1, which they would have gone for it at that point. So they have dropped 3 first downs basically on the first four drives. It could easily be 21-6 at this point. Then the next time, Jared Goff literally is running and then slides a yard short. If he doesn't slide and just dives, it's a first down. Then the next drive is Jared Goff throws a horrible pick to nobody. That was the one where he overthrows Reynolds and Diggs catches it and no one's around him. So that's Goff. Then the next drive before the end of the half, he does the same thing and slides instead of diving, and it's another first down. So at the end of the first half, the Seahawks, they also legitimately stop them and then run into the punter and then give them a first down after that.
Yeah, that was bad.
So they basically legitimately stopped him twice, and on one of the two gave him a first down. And then the third quarter starts, the Rams drive all the way down the field again, and then the Seahawks have this huge 4th down stand. Good for them. Then Jared Goff breaks his thumb, and then the next drive stops because Jared Goff, we'll get to it on the plays, literally with a 3-man rush, runs into a sack. There's no pressure. There's no one anywhere near him, and he just runs straight into a guy. So what I'm saying is Jared Goff decided how this game went. The Seahawks might have played better, but if an even competent quarterback is playing, it's probably pretty ugly in the first half. The Seahawks played good enough, but Jared Goff did enough terrible things to allow this team to be in the game. If you just don't drop passes and Goff doesn't throw a horrible pick, they're down 3+ scores. That's just how it is. And I'm like, I'm watching the game, and I rewatched the game for the second time, and the Rams are just going up and down the field. After Jared Goff's pick, it was 200 yards to 56. The Rams were just going up and down the field left and right. And the Seahawks were stopping them, sort of because of drops and like fluky plays when they get inside the 30 and then kick field goals. Or Jared Goff throws a pick on their own 10 or something like that. But they were just marching up and down that field. The Seahawks were doing nothing. And so I'm like, against a good team, you give up that much discrepancy and that, you're going to be down 21-3. Congratulations, you played Jared Goff in the Rams. But in the playoffs, what I'm looking at is watching that game, I was like, that's not still good enough. This is going to be bad. You have to keep playing better because, you might face Jared Goff in the playoffs. You're only going to face him once. You're only going to get him one because you're already the 3rd seed. You're not going to get the NFC East team anymore. You're hoping if the Arizona Cardinals don't win, you get Jared Goff. If the Arizona Cardinals wins, you get Kyler Murray, who will complete that pass to Higbee, who beat Jamal Adams on that play, and Jared Goff underthrew it by 5 yards. Yes, I agree with you, Kevin. They played better, especially in that 4th down. That 4th down stop, they made 3 monster plays. But there's just so much that came down to the other team that I feel like you could count on half of them maybe going the Seahawks way in a playoff game, but the other half is not going to. And that'll result in at least 2 touchdowns that didn't count this game. And that's just in the first half. That didn't go for the Seahawks. So encouraged, yes, but I'm not there yet. I'm terrified still. I am so scared of this team in the playoffs that I think if the backup or anybody had played, I think the Rams do a little better. Jared Goff was just not on himself. Like Kevin said, he goofed this whole game.
We'll get to the backup, but Kevin, go ahead.
I was going to kind of explain too, how this is not going to. It was kind of a tale of two games, and I kind of go into that. And Pete Carroll kind of brought it up in the Monday morning interview that he did, which kind of made me go back and actually look at the previous Rams game. I didn't get to look at the whole thing, but I kind of watched the first half and watched formations. Since we got our ass pushed in by the Bills, we have kind of shifted our defense a little bit more, and we're actually back doing what we did last year, and we're actually been playing more base defense since what was it, week 9 that we played the Bills?
I think so.
Yeah. And
Brooks only played 24 snaps, 21 snaps.
yeah, no, but
They ran 70 plays. They ran 75 plays.
but they probably also had other things in too, I imagine. But or like versions of. He also has little tweaked versions of base defense.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
had Neal play. I mean, I saw Neal playing linebacker instead of Brooks,
but
but
more or less, it's kind of a version of base defense.
I think he did the opposite. I think they played more nickel this game.
Yeah, I saw a lot of two linebackers.
Yeah,
like
they
I said,
played a ton, I would think.
I only watched the first half of it, so I didn't get to see what they did in the second half. But his thing going forward is that he wants to do more base, according to kind of what he was. Yeah, that's kind of it's scaring me, because he was commenting how it worked well in like the Jets game, and like it was kind of the same, like they're the same game, but they just kind of did the same stuff, and I was just like, I don't know about that. So going forward, I think if we play the Rams again, we still do that same thing, because the Rams the first game did a lot of dump out because we were throwing a lot of blitz packages with Jamal Adams and stuff like that. So they're doing a lot of screening, a lot of weird kind of like off the hat stuff to kind of prevent the rush. If Jared Goff stays upright and actually makes more completed throws, I think we're going to see a different game the next time it comes around. You're going to see more 3-4 receiver sets to where Josh Reynolds and stuff like that, like they did the first game, takes advantage of this defense. But overall, I'm not trying to take away from, like I said, the coverage was a lot better what I saw in the secondary. Guys were for the most part covered. Brooks had a hell of a game. KJ Wright had a hell of a game. The offense, despite this defense being very good, I will admit that this defense is very good. We cannot underestimate it. They had 2 good drives the whole game, and that's just unacceptable. Like you're Russell. Like I don't care if they're the number 1 defense. You're going to be going against top tier defenses in the playoffs, like and the Super Bowl if you make it that far. Excuse me. You're like you have Russell Wilson. You have DK Metcalf. You have Tyler. You have great tight ends. Like you need to exploit this. And Chris Carson is a beast too. Like your offense is geared to be explosive as hell. And the fact that you only got 20 points against a very good defense, even though I'm okay with it, like next time around, I want to see this defense just slapped around. I just want to see them smacked because literally you have the weapons. Like you have one of the best quarterbacks.
Time out, Kevin. To your point, I'll let you continue. The worst defense they will face, other than their own in the playoffs, is 15th. Everybody else is in the top 10 in the NFC playoffs. Like you need to play better. Kevin's right.
Yes. Like, and you literally now the fact that they got 20 points this time around with the defense playing the way they did, I'm okay with it. But you got lucky. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks.
It was a 4-score game and 4 minutes left in the game. Like
it
was a game.
The good news, according to Jamal Adams and a couple other players, they're saying they're planning to ball out against the Niners. They're not going to take it easy. They're going to just like go out.
Well, they're playing for a seed. Like, you've got to.
Yeah.
Now, and that's a point too I'm going to get to later too, which we will get to, is whether they should or not. But to wrap up this game, was I happy with it? Yes. Where there's a lot of stuff wrong that people like in social media, the radio and stuff didn't point out. Yes. Like people should not be content with this game. They should be super happy. They should be okay with it, but you want to see better. It's like when your kid comes home and they brought you a B, you're like, oh, okay, that's good, but you could have got an A over here.
I'd say it's more of a C.
Yeah. B minus. We'll meet halfway. B minus.
It was acceptable, but it was not good. I do not feel good about it.
The fact they held them to 9 points was impressive. But I said there was a lot of fluke shit. Jared Goff playing terrible. I don't think it's going to happen again. Like Robert Woods.
I don't know. Jared Goff's been pretty bad this year, so you can't count on it, but it's.
But that was he wasn't that bad the first time we played. So
I think it's the fact that their top 2 backs being out and them using them in their schemes so much kind of hurt them a little bit. And the pressure schemes that they kind of brought to kind of threw Sean McVay off just a smidge, but I don't think that's going to happen in 2 weeks. Because most likely we will probably play the Rams again in 2 weeks. So
most likely, yes.
Yeah, because I just don't see the.
Well, that's going to come down to a different point, but because Cardinals and Rams play each other, and they're both might have backups in, so that might become a
Yeah.
crazy game. Like,
Yeah, we'll get to
Oh,
that,
it's
but
our former backup. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
wanna wrap this up a little bit. I mentioned a lot about the defense, and give credit to where it's due. There, they did play well enough to win. Obviously, Sean mentioned the drops. Like, absolutely, you can't count on that sort of thing with like Reynolds dropping a few and Higbee dropping a few. Like, you can't count on that sort of stuff. But they were able to at least take advantage of it and not allow them to build off of anything that was there. So I give credit to the defense. I think the biggest concern for me is the offense. I mean, like you guys mentioned, they really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, Russ. I feel like Russ knows Aaron Donald is like gonna bear down on him. Like I feel like he's expecting Aaron Donald to bear down on him, which isn't like not
There was. We'll get to that.
he was, but
Yeah.
you can't be sitting there worried about Aaron Donald. Like, you've got to focus on what's ahead of you. I mean, obviously, scramble when you need to and get some runs, and we saw that with this touchdown. But Russ needs to be comfortable in that pocket and not have that fear looming over him of Aaron Donald bearing down on him. And they did some stuff on the passing protection, but as we saw, and I'll show in a play, like you triple team Aaron Donald, and that leaves a guy wide open to come sack you. So Aaron Donald takes a lot of energy and it creates opportunities for other guys. So that's going to be a big problem for the Seahawks if they do face them. But it's like you guys are saying, like, let Russ do his thing. Like, DK was, I mean, he didn't really line up with Jalen Ramsey as much as he did the first game, but I felt like he was, using his body, making plays. I saw a lot of stuff about Tyler Lockett, like people who are speculating, is he hurt or what's the deal? I just think teams are keying in on him a little more, and it's a little bit harder for us to maybe find him. I think people are trying to stop DK, they're trying to stop Tyler, and it does give opportunities for the tight ends. I mean, Jacob had 2 catches, Will Disley had 3 catches, Greg Olsen had a catch getting back in there. So there are other opportunities for the other people in this offense if they're going to try and take away DK, if they're going to try and take away Tyler. So it was nice to see him kind of spread the ball out a little bit more. The run game, I mean, it was okay, but let Russ cook a little more. I think I agree with both of you. Although, if he's going to be this timid, it's hard to, let's let him cook, but let's get him out in space. Let's run more play action. Let's move him away from Aaron Donald so he doesn't have that fear and he can kind of plant and throw. And he took some deep shots. They just never hit. Like, there was a deep shot to DK that they missed in the first half, and
Tyler,
then he launched one to Tyler, and it's just too far. So I'm encouraged that they're taking those shots. They're not playing super timid. Of course, Pete Carroll wants to run the football. They're gonna give Chris his touches, but I think the offense needs to find that energy they had in the first 5 games, because the first 5 games they were, I don't want to say unstoppable, but they were one of the best offenses in the league.
They were the best offense in the league. They were, just period.
And they just kind of, I don't know what happened. I'm not really sure.
I have some. I'm gonna go theories with what's wrong with Russell. One, before I say this, I want to say Lewis was baptized by in this game by Aaron Donald. There's a couple plays where he was just straight up embarrassed, but that's Aaron Donald. It's gonna happen, and he's a rookie, so of course that's just what it is. I have a couple theories of Russell. There's been the theory that he's hurt. We could be. We'll never know. Probably not. But
and a lot of guys are banged up.
That's football.
I mean,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I would say it's more likely what happened beginning of the year was there's so many open plays for DK or Tyler. Because if they focused on Tyler, they would go to DK. If they focused on DK, they go to Tyler. You watched it with the Arizona game. Tyler went off for 200 yards, and DK is going off.
And as someone who has him in fantasy, I saw it. I saw it on my stats.
I think the issue became when we started seeing it around the Bills time, like Kevin pointed out, was they started running cover 2. They just ran 2 safeties deep, and Tyler and DK running deep routes, and they're just basically both being doubled. I think it's combo of Russell wanting to take shots if he has one-on-one, but I think I can't tell if it's Russell being timid or Pete has always been don't throw into coverage or don't take chances because you can't turn the ball over. So I think it's a little bit of both. Do not take the chance of getting a turnover. I also think this offense in general is ignoring the middle of the field. Tight ends just are non-existent anymore. Like these under in between routes where there's like 13 yards, like say every week, like Russell running in space, and there's so much room in the middle field because they have all these safeties deep and these corners running with Tyler and DK into the safeties that there's just so much space in the middle here that like somebody has to get open. Again, it just constantly feels like the scheme is like little bubble screens or deep bombs. And I'm like, you could run something that's 13 yards, or you could run basically be the Rams, run the 8-yard little slant.
And the only person who caught a deep bomb was your boy David Moore. So, I mean, let's
he
give some
caught
credit
the
to
one
David
ball
Moore.
thrown. He
Attaboy.
caught the one ball thrown to him all game. Like
All you need.
No, they need to run with Swain. But like it's just so infuriating that I don't think it's really a Russell thing. I think it's a combo of like the three of them. Like Pete, Schottenheimer, and Russell need to be like, look, these teams have been doing the same thing to us. Because like these really bad defenses, like the Giants and the Eagles, and like have been slowing you down too. Like you need to play better against some of these defenses. And it's like even the Rams are good, but like Kevin said, you've got to do more in the first half against this defense. Like show some life, like do anything really. And there has to be room. Like, and I also think another thing is like maybe the receivers aren't winning because I mean DK at the end of the day put up numbers, but when Ramsey was on him, Ramsey won again. Like Ramsey won that matchup, and DK, you want to be the number one, you got to beat Ramsey like straight up. And if you're not going to, I don't see why Russell maybe not trust you or whatever. But like, and again, like Kevin says, I keep contradicting myself. I like if you get one-on-one, then you take the bomb because you should. But if you're not winning the matchup, how can Russell trust you? Because he wasn't winning the matchup. So, I mean, something they have to get together and change this because again, this will not work against Tampa Bay. It's not. Or the Cardinals. So you have to change something.
Or the Bears.
You better score. Or you better not let them score a ton of points against the Bears because Mitchell Trubisky better not drop 40 on you. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, let us know what you thought about the Rams game. Go ahead and tweet at us, comment on our YouTube video. Let us know what you think on our Eli Network page. But let's move in to the other game in the NFC West. It happened on Saturday. I would say quite a surprise. CJ Beathard got the start for San Francisco, and he was able to pull it out 20-12 to take down Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So, you know, the standings going into Week 17. We'll just mention it here. So, boy, I should probably bring it up. That's probably a good idea, huh?
Kyler got hurt again. That's important to mention.
Yeah, so Kyler did get hurt again, which is important to mention.
And Hopkins.
And Hopkins. So, I mean, you know, they are, you know, coming down the stretch with a lot of bangs and bruises. But as it stands right now, the Rams are in the 6th seed, the Bears are in the 7th seed, and the Cardinals are in the 8th seed. And that can shift based on what happens in this final game between well, mainly it's between the Rams and the Cardinals. It depends on who wins that game and then what happens with the Bears playing the Packers. So there are a lot of different scenarios here, but gentlemen, I'm just going to, you know, let's just do some predictions right now for next week since we're looking at, you know, the Cardinals and the Rams. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Now, let's preface this. At this point, it looks like it's going to be backup versus backup. The Cardinals' backup is Chris Streveler.
I think Kyler's going to play.
And the Rams' backup is John Walford if it's both backups. Now, if Kyler plays and Jared Goff doesn't play, I mean, I think we know where the advantage is there. If both of them don't play, I think you got to give it to the Rams just based on how good that defense is, and it's going to just absolutely maul the backup quarterback for the Cardinals. But based on what we know now, let's just kind of make some predictions on what we think is going to happen. And it's also, you know, the Packers are playing for something. So the Bears don't have like an easy win either. So how do you think those, you know, 6 and 7 seeds shake out? I'll go first. So I think Kyler is going to tough it out and play. You know, he has a lower leg injury. That's the biggest problem for me in picking them is because Kyler needs his legs in order to be the quarterback that he is supposed to be. And Jared Goff, you know, obviously he needs his right thumb to throw the football, but we saw in this game, like Jared is afraid to run for some reason. Maybe he just doesn't like taking hits. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he had plenty of open space to run the ball when their Seahawks were playing these deep zones. I think the Cardinals essentially because I made the prediction in the beginning of the season. I think the Cardinals are going to win this game. Now, I have a feeling that the Packers are going to beat the Bears and that the Rams are going to get in, and it's going to set up somehow we're going to play the Cardinals or the Rams. But I think the Cardinals will win this game. I think the Rams will still get in because the Packers will beat the Bears. Kevin, what do you think?
By the way, so I'm going to start out with this. I don't know if you know this too. In my opinion, I thought Jared Goff was throwing the ball better after he hurt his thumb. Like,
I think he did too, actually, which is weirdly enough. Watching
he
that
was
game,
putting
Kevin, I
more
think you're right.
He was putting more zip on it. Like,
Yeah.
it just felt like.
I think it's a fluke, though. But yeah, I agree. I think that happened.
This is really hard just because even if Kyler plays, he's going to play hurt, which takes away the wheel, like the wheel options, stuff like that. Play action makes it a little bit more difficult. Even if so, let's go with the scenario of both backups play. It kind of becomes a defensive thing. I trust the run game of Arizona a little bit more, just because Kenyon Drake is a lot more. They're not going to have Chase Edmonds because he got hurt last week. I don't think he's going to play for this game. And the backup receivers are. I mean, you still have Larry out there. You have Christian Kirk, the other speedy guy that's Nevy. To where they can kind of get you some things, but that defense is also the defense is a lot better than the Cardinals. Like the Cardinals defense is not, it's okay at best. Like it's not very good. So even a backup quarterback, I think with the right, if it's planned out, which Sean McVay should, can still probably score some points. And
Cardinals defense ranks 10th.
Really? Because they haven't, I mean, points wise, it hasn't been pretty for them. Last,
it's just by efficiency.
Because what they gave up 20 points a week 16. They gave up 26 points week 15.
7.
Well, that's the Giants.
We gave up more.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like
38 points to the Rams back in week 13. Like
20 to the Patriots.
Yeah. So
I mean, like that's not.
It's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but like I think without Chandler Jones, the pressure just has gotten really nowhere. I think Chandler Jones is a big key for them. They still have a decent secondary, but the Rams defense, as we know, is just a lot better. So, and I think if it comes down to coaching too, I give it to McVay. So I'm going to probably take the Rams on this one. As far as Packers and Bears, Frank Wright over there is, or no, excuse me, it's Magby or whatever his name is. Frank Wright's for the Colts. Who's the coach for the Bears? Matt Nagy. Yeah, there we go. He's been dialing up some crazy stuff. He's been playing to Trubisky's strengths, if there is such a thing.
Also, didn't we say on this podcast to go back to Trubisky, and that worked out pretty well, I think. But go ahead.
We actually did. Yeah, because he allows for play action. Because Montgomery is still a, I
mean, playing the Texans and Jags are really good. I mean, it's a good look good too.
It's true.
So I'm just throwing it out there, guys. Settle down.
But they were also out of like the ether when they lost like 5 straight, and then no one really gave them a shot. So
I mean, they played the Rams, Saints, Titans, Packers, and Lions. Like then they got pooped on.
Yeah.
Like saying, they played bad teams and are doing better. Like I mean,
if you look at that offense, and besides the O-line, because the O-line was terrible, the two weapons of Miller and Robinson, pretty good. Tight end Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy is having a season. Let me tell you though, he is playing well.
He's having a season in the red zone.
That's fine. That's all they need him for, really.
That other than that, he's not having a season. He's having a season in the red zone.
No. Yeah.
The running backs in Montgomery and Cohen have been better as of late. So, but I think that's because of the threat of the play action, and they've been letting Trubisky actually take it and run it, because that is kind of his only real actual weapon. Because he's not going to really throw a ball more than 15, 20 yards. He's not going to like chuck it downfield because no defense is going to respect that ball. But the threat of his wheels, taking it, I mean, he's not going to Kaepernick it for 60 yards, don't get me wrong. But the threat of running for a first down, when it's like 2nd and 6, like that's a thing. Like he could do it. So they're using that to their advantage. Now, Green Bay's defense was a big heaping pile of crap. Since week 10, they have cleaned it up a fair amount. There's still some problems, especially in the linebacking core and a little bit of the secondary. Jair Alexander, though, has been playing very well because Jair Alexander is just a beast. I still think Aaron Rodgers is just going to be Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, he's just doing that. O-line's been
And Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I mean they kind of switched role. Like he was like, "Oh, I need weapons," even though my running back got 17 touchdowns last year, and then they're like, "Okay, we'll just switch it over," and now Devontae Adams gets 17 touchdowns. It's like you have a very good running back. You have a very good number one weapon. Your tight end kind of formed that Tunyon guy, whatever his name is, to be like a kind of like a Zach Miller, but not to the level of Zach Miller, but like kind of on his way to being like to where he can block and catch. And he has one of the best O-lines in the game, so I don't know why he needs to be crying. He's like, you're 36 and we gave you an O-line. You should be happy with that. I think it'll still be just because that defense it's good for the Bears, but it's Aaron Rodgers. I think they'll probably win by 10-15.
So it's based on what you said. It's going to be Rams Bears because if the Cardinals lose, they're out essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you think?
Touching on that, you guys, oh man, I like, yes, I think Kyler will play. I don't think it's gonna. I think actually, if Goff doesn't play, it will help the Rams because the only quarterback that the Seahawks played this year that was worse than Jared Goff was Sam Darnold. That means Dwayne Haskins was better.
With Carson Wentz?
Yes, Carson Wentz was actually better. Yes.
What? I thought he was number 32.
No, in the individual game.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
His EPA was high. Oh no, he wasn't. No, he was. They were both negative. Yeah. Russell Wilson was actually terrible that game. Now that I look at it. Oh my gosh. But that's just in the game, not on the season. On the season, Carson Wentz is terrible. But it might help that he doesn't play, at least until he's healthy. I agree with Kevin that he actually looked like he threw a better ball, but I think that was kind of like fluky. I think just like Goff just played terrible. That was it. I think they'll still run with Kyler because Kingsbury played Kyler last year when he shouldn't have in a meaningless Week 17 game when he was hurt, and this means something. This means like everything. So he will definitely, I think, if it's at all if he hasn't been ruled out now, I think he's going to play. And with that said, I think the Cardinals win, but Kevin's right. The Rams defense is much better. They're solid. I think the Rams running game is better because that scheme is so much better than Arizona.
They're going to be on their third back, and then a practice squad guy.
Running back doesn't matter. It's scheme. Henderson got 4.5 yards per carry. Like it does not matter. And Kyler's not going to be there to help the running game out, or won't be as effective in the running game to help out Kenyon Drake, who hasn't really been that good. If Hopkins doesn't play, it's kind of the big deal.
We also have to put into there real quick, sorry, that the Cardinals O-line is not that great.
Yes. Rams, if they were healthy, it was good too, Kevin, but they're beat up too. Like the Rams.
But I'm saying you have Aaron Donald versus a very terrible O-line.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's kind of why I'm still, I think the quarterback does matter that much. And I think a 50% Kyler is going to be the deciding factor. Just because Aaron Donald will do everything in his power to beat up Kyler Murray. And it'll be an ugly game. But I just don't trust whoever it is coming out of there for the Rams to score on this. Surprisingly, I agree with you, Kevin. But they have been playing like enough. And that's all you're going to need kind of against a quarterback who I'm not sure what you're going to get out of them. I think it's going to be enough. I think Kyler's going to make enough plays to win by like 3 points or something like that. But I could totally see it going the other way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not super confident in that game. I am much more confident in the Packers beating the Bears. Everything Kevin said was true. Aaron Rodgers is probably the MVP this year. He's playing so good right now.
Yeah.
It's his. Yeah.
I
know there's no fans, but it's in Chicago, but I mean Aaron Rodgers
It's
loves the cold.
With-
it's him or Mahomes. It's him or Mahomes.
With
and
the
it's-
way Mahomes has played the last 4 games, and I'm not saying Mahomes has been playing like shit, but the turnovers, because he has, 5 turnovers in the last 4 games? 5 plus?
something like that.
Yeah, I think people are going to look way too much into that.
I mean, they scraped by the Falcons, though. But I know, yeah, 1 week,
everybody,
yeah.
it's NFL. You scrape
Yeah.
by, and I mean, he beat up the Bills. Like he just dominated the Bills like a couple weeks ago. So it's just like it happens. Like they're still 14-1.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing about everyone saying the Chiefs get lucky. Remember last year when the Seahawks made the playoffs because 2 kickers missed game-winning field goals? That's the only reason they made the playoffs. So let's settle down on that one. It's a race between the two. Mahomes has been a little bit more efficient overall, but like, yeah, I could totally don't have a problem with him giving it to Aaron Rodgers either. He's been amazing. No, I forgot his name. Wide receiver.
Devontae Adams?
Yeah, has been
Yeah.
just stupid.
Well,
And again, that's all they had last year, and we still couldn't cover Adams. That's all they had.
that's what, in my opinion, makes it more like Devontae Adams has he has I think 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns or something like that.
And he's it. He's like basically it.
Who else is in there besides
Yeah.
that Tunyon kid and then the running
Yeah.
back? Like, that's impressive as shit. Like, your number
Yeah.
one is on him, and he's probably getting doubled, and he's
Yeah.
gotten 17 touchdowns.
And he's still just
Like,
putting it on you. Yeah.
Honestly,
like-
this year might
Tennessee
and
didn't really double him though, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I
No.
understand what you're saying. Yes.
That
But-
was a kind of a fluke game because of the snow. Like it was
Even
just
though-
downpouring.
Hopkins is very talented. Like, this year, just based off the net, I would probably give the number 1 receiver award to Hopkins just because of what he's done.
It-
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, he has Aaron Rodgers with
Oh,
an O-line,
And
but
Adams is the number 2 according to efficiency, and Jefferson is number 1 for Minnesota. But yes, Adams has been amazing with.
just based off of like the fantasy stats, like not like
Oh
the
yeah,
OVA.
yeah. But like
Yeah,
here,
Jefferson's been playing out of his mind, but like fantasy stats, which is what
Yeah,
we
he
know
has-
they go based
he-
off of.
he has like 50 less yards on 30 less. Jefferson on 30 less targets. Like he's just going nuts whenever
Yeah.
they throw the ball. But
But the
yeah, I
17
agree.
touchdowns is nowhere. Like, you only have like.
Oh, he only has 7. But again, like that's
Yeah.
the problem is like they're just not throwing to Jefferson. That's kind of their biggest issue in Minnesota. They don't throw.
Well,
enough.
also they have Thielen. They have Dalvin Cook, who's just been a monster.
Thielen ranks number 10 in the league. So yeah, they just need to throw more. But
Well,
anyways,
it's,
like
it's the Dalvin Cook train. Yeah,
no, they need to stop being the Dalvin Cook train.
I know. I'm saying
Throw
that's
the ball.
where the touchdowns
Yeah.
have been going is to Dalvin
Yeah.
Cook.
And they need to stop that and throw the ball
Yes,
to
they
win
should.
games. I actually have another stat about Minnesota for later, but yes, I think the Packers will win and the Cardinals will win. So I think that's the case. And I believe if that's the case, we play the Cardinals in the
Well,
playoffs?
I mean, I mean, we can go into that right now. Let's do this real quick. So the Seahawks can go anywhere from 1 to 3 at this point. It's still
Yes.
based on the Packers.
I
It's
think
also
the
based on the
Saints.
Saints.
I think the Saints and Packers both win, so we stay at 3.
Okay, that was very simple.
Yes.
I would have to agree with you on that. I don't really see the Saints losing or the
And
Packers losing.
They're playing the Panthers. The Saints are playing the Panthers.
Now, in my opinion, because of this is why I feel that all starters should sit. Well, the majority of the starters should.
Because you
sit.
think the other 2 teams are for sure going to win?
Yeah, because like
I
you
can
have
see that.
okay, and also too, this is a stat for you: 6 out of the 7 last winning Super Bowl teams have had their quarterback not play for the whole season. Well, like they've missed games.
Yeah, I think but I think that also comes down to a lot of the Super Bowl winners or a lot of people who make the Super Bowl have a first round bye. Like
That's
a
true.
lot of them come from that.
No, I'm
and that's
talking
why they're-
during regular season.
No, I know,
during
but
regular
like
season,
they're
they've missed
they're
games.
usually benched week 17 or there's something like that's happening where they're not having to play all the games.
And that's why
because-
I would prefer Russell to sit, rest, get his shit together, and even like DK and Tyler too. I'd actually kind of like to see them. get
I mean,
some
I can
rest
see it.
as well.
I don't know if I would say I agree completely that they should do it, but I get your point, Kevin. Like it's
Or
it makes
anybody
sense.
too that's like, because like Jaron Reed has that pec thing that he came back in because he got hurt. Like sit Jaron Reed. Like I don't. Think
I
it's
would
like
say start them, and because you play at the same time as the other 2 games, I believe the Saints and them play.
you can have them play
yes,
a
you do.
quarter
Yeah.
or play a half.
I say yeah, they all play at the same time. I say you see at halftime how it's going, and then you pull them.
Yeah.
Like if both teams are up big, which they easily could be, you've got to pull them because like Kevin's right. If nothing else, the worst you're gonna do is 3. You need to figure out and
Yeah.
be healthy.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to discuss the rest of the NFL right after this. And welcome back. So let's talk about the rest of the NFL here. So I just want to mention a couple games that stood out to me from the rest of Week 16. You guys can chime in here in just a little bit. I want to start with, the Saints got their revenge, and Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns. That was crazy on Christmas. You think you'd make an adjustment, Mike Zimmer, but you did not. Um,
Mike Zimmer needs to be fired.
the other game on the weekend that didn't happen on Sunday was Ryan Fitzmagic concocting his magic again, getting his face pulled off, and able to complete a pass that was poorly covered. Also getting the face mask and also winning the game, eliminating the Raiders essentially.
Raiders need to draft defense next year.
Yep. So that was crazy, and the Dolphins are looking all right for a playoff spot. So Tua, Fitz,
they're
like
in the
you got to
5
prepare
seed
for
right now.
both. It's like it's crazy. And then the other game that really stood out to me was the Steelers. Actually, coming back down 21-7, and they're able to win the game. Yes, I understand. The Colts did nothing, and that defense.
I'm gonna say a lot of people, even online and everything, were very upset about the officiating in that second half. Like, that was the first thing my coworker said to me this morning, and they're not a Colts fan. They were like, that game was a joke in the second half. It is on Reddit as well. They were very upset about that second half officiating.
Didn't really watch it, so I can't.
I didn't either.
comment.
I can't
But,
speak that, but that is the one thing I took away from that game.
I thought it was just really interesting to see how they actually were able to come back. Ben, we were saying he's washed. He looked decent. He is sitting this week since I guess they don't really have a whole lot to play for. I think they're fairly cemented in their spot.
Yeah, they are locked in because they're
yeah.
3 year. Yeah.
So that, and then the Browns really don't have a whole lot to play for against them now. So that loss to the Jets is
Well, the Browns are
real
playing
big.
for the Browns are playing for a playoff.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
not
that's true.
Actually, neither team, Baltimore or Cleveland, are in. So yeah.
So
or the Colts who lost. Yeah.
The AFC is quite interesting. And any other games stand out to you guys? Any other performances you want to mention?
The Packers putting on the Titans. The Titans are a good team, and they put it on them. I think weather had a lot to do with that, but yeah.
No, well, that's the thing too. Like, because I saw it was snowing, and I was like, "Oh, this goes in the Titans' favor because Derrick Henry's just going to pound that ball." And then they're like,
"Pony, they're going to load the box, and you're done."
And then like
someone who had Derrick Henry in
fantasy, throwing it like it's motherfucker. Like I was just like, "Oh, okay, Aaron Rodgers is just doing his fucking thing, not giving a damn."
Vrabel like tensed up, is like, "We got to run it," because that's what everybody thinks. They got to run it. And then the Green Bay's like, "Do it," and then they just stop Derrick Henry. You still have to keep throwing. You have to at least try to throw. Like, in that situation.
And then Corey Davis has that crazy touchdown. It's like, maybe you should have done that.
I should have done that earlier. Yeah.
Well, I want to say Aaron Rodgers has been there for 14 years. Cold snow does not bother him anymore. Like that. Let's just stop taking weather into account for Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't affect him.
But it counted for, I think, for the play calling on the
Now, I will say I had Derrick Henry in my fantasy league for money in the finals, and the other person had AJ Brown. I was down by 2 going into the final game. And I was like, oh, no, this is bad because they're going to load the box. And Derrick Henry got just enough, and A.J. Brown was just not targeted enough for me to win by a point. So I won $100. That was pretty cool.
If Derrick Henry cracked 100 yards in my league, the champion – I wasn't in it.
He got 98.
If they cracked 100, the winner would have flipped, but he didn't.
Yeah.
The guy lost by 1.9 yards. But anyways – I want to give a stat to both of you. So I was looking at some things. I was like, man, let's see some teams in the playoffs because me and Kevin and another person predicted a bunch of games. I was like, man, how did some of these teams turn out? If the Cowboys and Bears win next week, Minnesota could lose 10 games and lose lose 1 game to a team that's not going to be in the playoffs. They will have lost 9 games to playoff teams. I didn't know if any other teams played 9 playoff teams, and somehow the Minnesota Vikings played like every single playoff team that has played this year. And so if the Bears make the playoffs, that means the Minnesota Vikings will have lost 9 games to playoff teams this year.
Yeah. And
they had to have had the toughest schedule in the entire league, right?
And let's just do some predictions for the rest of the league before we get to Seattle, San Francisco. So who wins the NFC East? Is Washington gonna figure it out and win, or is it winner of Giants Cowboys?
I think who has it right now? Is it still Washington?
It's still Washington. It's theirs.
If Washington,
theirs
if
to lose,
Washington
essentially.
wins, they have it.
I think the Cowboys win it. I think
I
Washington
somehow
loses
think
to
the
the
Cowboys
Eagles.
win as well. I was gonna
I think
say
Washington loses to the Eagles and Hurts. Hurts is the deciding factor.
I think you're right, Sean. I think the Cowboys gonna squeak in there because Andy Dalton has like decided, oh wait, there are really good receivers here. Like, what am I doing here? So he's figured it out, and I think they squeak in on that 4 seed. What do you think, Kevin?
Now, is Alex Smith playing?
No.
Because Haskins is gone. We saw that.
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot.
Alex Smith is not playing.
Is it Kyle Allen?
Yes. I think. Wait.
Is he back?
No, it's the other guy.
Who else is there?
Let me see here.
I'm not sure who they have, to be honest with you.
Hold on, I'm pulling up.
Tyler Hinkie.
That gives you confidence.
And honestly, why is this game in the like? Okay, I get it, but
it's winning your end. I knew that this was gonna be the flex.
But
game.
it's the same thing with the Rams and the Cardinals, and that's a way better game. Like,
well, one of the teams.
It's because one's for a division. It is stupid.
Well, the Rams can still get in if even they don't win.
Well, they have
I think
right now.
I would have to agree with Kevin. Like, I think either way, the Rams Cardinals game is gonna be the better game.
It's better, but it's not win or you're in.
I think it's mainly viewers. I think it's the markets of Washington and Philadelphia.
There's no market for Washington, but like it's win or you're in. I think that's
But
actually,
it's the same with the Rams and in Cardinals.
It's not. It should be the Cowboys. No, neither of them are win or you're in.
Like literally, Rams Cardinals is both win and you're in.
Yeah.
Like
no. But I'm saying like I was looking for win and you're in, lose and you're out. Like it's win or go home. But neither of these games.
They don't really have that game this week. That's the thing. There's not really that game that's like win you're in, lose you're out. Like there is no game on.
If the Cardinals lose, they're out. That's what I'm saying.
But if the Rams lose, they're not out.
Yeah.
There's a chance for them to be out, but still, like.
But again, like the same with the NFC this game too.
Yeah.
You could like that, and same with the Browns and Pittsburgh game.
The Eagles have zero chance to get in no matter what. Versus the Washington TBDs.
The problem is you have 3 games like this in the league. There is no.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like, I mean, I think I'm looking at the schedule right now.
There's 4 games that are a win or something can happen, but there's no both teams are fighting for.
Like Washington, Philly is the main one, and then that would affect Dallas, New York that play early. And then Green Bay, Chicago, that has some decent playoff effect, but the Packers have already won the division.
I'm going to go with Dallas.
The Dolphins at Buffalo has some playoff implications, but Buffalo's already wrapped it up.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh,
yeah.
Miami, some of them have like a game or seeding, but like none of them really.
But to summarize my thing, I'm going to wrap up kind of because we previously talked about this, like who we thought would come out. I said Dallas because of the ridiculous receiving cores that they had. And even though it took Andy Dalton a lot longer to figure this out, like
I think it took them to realize to throw the freak as a team. I think it took them to realize to throw the
stop feeding Zeke. He's not that great.
Yep.
Well, first of all, I fed Zeke decent enough because I played him in fantasy and he had a pretty nice game. But yeah, go ahead.
But still, your main
Zeke had 100 yards, Matthew. That was it. Andy Dalton for 400 yards.
I mean, I understand that that's not the relative comparison, but
anyway, but you literally had the best receiving core in the league. Utilize it. Andy Dalton is not great, but he's not complete terrible dog shit.
And you don't need to be great.
What Washington is going to have with their 4th string, whatever. We don't even know who the hell is playing. Literally utilize your ridiculous weapons and just go win the game.
Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper just throw the ball all day.
And even Zeke out of the backfield is good, and Pollard too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Week 17 for the Seahawks. They are at San Francisco, actually technically Arizona, it's a 1:30 game. The Seahawks won 37-27 against the 49ers in Week 8. We all remember that one where they put a big lead up, and then Nick Mullins comes in and kind of makes it a little bit closer than it actually was. They're 6-9. They have nothing to play for. They are out of the playoff picture. I think the biggest thing, and you guys already touched on it a little bit, is do you leave everyone in? Do they play the whole game? I think you guys are giving your takes. I'm just gonna throw mine in here. I would probably sit them the whole game. The whole game. I don't think Russ or anybody who starts wants to play half a game and then be pulled based on what's going on. I think if they play, they're going to play the whole game. And I think if they don't play, then obviously it's going to be the backups. But I think Pete's trying to weigh this decision right now. I think he's going to lean to play them, just because you want to kind of run some plays, work on some things before you go into the playoffs, and then just kind of have the defense go against an actual offense. I think it would be wise to sit anyone who is questionable. Like, let's not even mess with it. Like you guys mentioned, Jaron Reed with the pick. Like, let's not even deal with it. Like, Penny is back and healthy, so I think we give Chris Carson a break this game.
His foot is still hurt.
So DK and Tyler, depending on how they're doing, like maybe give them a game off and let Freddie Swain or somebody else step up into that role and see how they do.
Amore and Swain, man.
And Russ is gonna if Pete puts
Parkinson,
him in,
baby. Let's get it.
If Russ plays, I don't think there's any way they're gonna pull him unless it's beating and Gino gets in there like in the Jets game. But
he has to start to get his starting streak though.
That's
I guarantee you he's doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure that will probably happen. But on the defensive side, I don't mind having all of these guys play just to get another week of cohesion. And just kind of understand assignments here, assignments there. Jamal, cover that guy, don't let him roll off in the goal line, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't mind seeing the defense play all, if not most of the game, depending on how the game's going. But I would agree with you guys. I don't see any reason to start your offensive guys in a game that it will have meaning depending on what happens, but based on what we think will happen, I don't think it's a worthy risk at this point. Anything you guys want to add on that?
Go ahead, Kevin.
This is a week where, because I didn't get to touch on this earlier when Sean was talking about how we've been seeing two deep safeties and stuff like that, and not been taking advantage of the middle. A lot of times, I think it's because a lot of people are either there's just nobody there, or nobody's getting open because it's a tight end or it's David Moore. Most of the time, if we do have stuff that's open in the middle, it's because they're actually bringing DK or Tyler across through that middle. They need to utilize that a little bit more. Like, kind of put Tyler back in the slot and maybe like let him play around a little bit and see what you got there. Let David Moore be what David Moore is, which is a 50-50 ball guy, straight shot down the field. Because literally that's pretty much all you can do. Because I don't want to see him on a jet sweep. Weird, right? Or a sideline, instant throw, or like he literally hikes it, turns and throws it to him on the sideline, and he tries to go up field for 2 yards.
Hey, he got a first down last game.
God. Which
there's a time and a place for that play, but not as often as you're doing it.
Our outside run blocking is terrible enough, like to do that too, and just expect a wide receiver to block for that is just like they tried to do it with DK too, and he got 4 yards off of it, which I was like, he got there because it was DK for 4 yards, but like the blocking was terrible because it was Tyler and I think Moore or Swain like blocking out there, and they just got to DK. I was like, what did they expect? Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, I think you utilize like the playbook a little bit more and see what you have there. Just because you have to be a little bit more creative to figure out what to do when the deep ball is not available, and take some shots downfield. Like, if you're going to play DK, like, utilize the shot, like, because Russell's downfield shots have not been great lately. Like the last 4 games, like it's not been really accurate. Like what we saw with the Hollister one, when he was wide open and would have gone in for a touchdown. Like he threw the ball like 5 yards ahead of him, even though he was under pressure a little bit, I believe, on that play. But I think you utilize that. Now, should they play? No, but they're never going to do that because that's not what Pete does. And Russell wants, from the starting bullshit, and Russell always wants to play. So,
Sean, anything else?
I will say I would sit everybody, but Pete will play everybody.
Yep.
There you
go. Hey, let's just
that isn't like hurt. Like,
all right. So the game, overall, I mean, locked in the playoffs, NFC West, could move up or down. Give us a prediction based on what we think is going to happen. I'll start. I did say home and home. I think the starters will play, though. And if the starters play, Seahawks are going to win this game, I believe. I think that the 49ers, at the end of the season, this is their Super Bowl, their bowl game, whatever you want to call it. So I think the 49ers will come out and play well. But I think since I believe the starters will play, I think that the Seahawks will win this game. They did blow them out the first game. I don't see that happening this time. I think it'll be a much closer game just because the 49ers are going to, they're going to throw everything they can at Russ while he's playing and see if they can, disrupt him a little bit. And I think they will. So I think it's going to be a defensive battle, just like the Rams game. And I am going to go, let's go 21-20 Seahawks. Kevin.
Oh, okay. A little side note to the first game. It was posted today that Shanahan plans to have Jimmy G back next year. So
it might be coach. I saw that too. That might be coach talk, though. It might be coach talk.
I hope that's true. Bring that piece of shit back. Yeah. Anywho, I think just because we are going to play everybody, that offense only got 20 because I don't really think Cardinals defense is as good as what it's been saying on paper. And also, like, Jeff Wilson had 154 yards rushing. That's not going to happen.
It might.
Like, we've only gave up one of those games like lately, and that was because Gallman had that giant ass run. Even though honestly, I think next year, like, Wilson should be in the consideration for starting for them because every time he plays, he just has a fucking monster game. I don't know how. Like, I don't see why he is not one, like, if not the starter, the backup, because he's like just balled out every time. Even 3 years ago, like when their backs were hurt, like he played against us and he had like 120 yards rushing against us. I was like, holy shit, he's murdering us. So sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Yeah, their secondary is not playing nearly as well as what they used to. In the past, I think Russell will probably get sacked 2-3 times again because Russ just gets sacked. I'm gonna say 28-17 Seahawks.
28-17. Okay, so I will say this. I think the 49ers defense is still very, very good. We will play all of our starters, or most of the non-super hurt ones. Matthew's correct. This will be a very close game. This 49er team, still with like a bajillion injuries, is very, very good, which is why I'm still very scared of them for next year. But as this year stands, man, I really don't want to pick the 49ers. So I won't. I will say, what did you say, 2021?
Yeah, 21-20.
24-21 Seattle.
I'm going to note something real quick, too, because a lot of people are going off based off last week's score of them dominating the Cardinals. Kyler Murray had 51 passing attempts.
Yep.
Like, now, they're like, that shouldn't happen. It actually kind of should, not nearly as much, but they should, because they should do what I've been saying that they should have done to Russell, and this needs to be Kyler's team passing and not based off running. But Kyler's hurt. And that's why they should have gone with the running game a little bit more last week. Now, that's eventually what they should turn into, and that's good on Kyle Kingsbury. Like, that should be Kyler Murray dumping the ball down the field because he has a fucking arm.
He just hasn't been that accurate recently.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's because of injuries. I don't know if it's just chemistry. He hasn't got it with – I mean, he's had good games blocking, so don't get me wrong. But and also the O-line, too, is a complete hot pile of shit. So we'll kind of see how that goes as they draft better pieces, which hopefully they do for that O-line. Actually, hopefully they don't, because we don't want them to get better. But so the fact that literally had 51 pass attempts, they just took away the run game. They just made a quarterback one-dimensional, and it just nothing happened. Now, do that again with Russell Wilson and the weapons that Seahawks have. I don't see that going to only 12 points. It's just not going to happen. That's why I don't think it's going to be as close as what people think. I think people are over. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the Niners are still a very good team, but they were also a very good team when we just beat the living shit out of them, and we just got, like, Nick Mullins just came in and we didn't have tape on him. Um, I think
They are good enough to shut this offense down. I believe. I still think they're good
Yeah,
enough.
the
to shut
defense
this
is still
offense
good.
they,
Defense is
yeah, but nowhere near what like we just put 20 points on the best defense in the league. Now you're going to a banged up, not as good
the fifth best
team.
defense in the league.
Based off of yes, I know, but on what they had for Pro Football Focus,
The San
how many?
Francisco, the San Francisco 49ers are 6th. Just so you know, they're one spot behind.
Anywho, I don't think it's gonna be. Stats aren't always the whole like there's
I know,
there's
but
Pro Football stats, there's Subway stats, there's McDonald's stats. Everybody's got stats on their own shit. Sorry.
their D-line even on Pro Football Focus. This is not Pro Football Focus, but Pro Football Focus has them graded very well as well.
The 6th defense that we dumped 35 points on the first time around.
That was how many weeks ago?
Yeah, and it's the same defense, if not worse, because they are hurt and they won't have Sherman.
Sherman was actually bad. Not playing him has helped them. Witherspoon's had a great year.
It's true, but I like I said, I think because of those numbers, and O-line's actually, Boydie actually had a pretty decent game going against that front four, which I was kind of surprised. That was kind of the shocker of that game because I thought Boydie was just going to get murdered. That's why I think it's going to be not nearly as close. But
I think the issue is, Kevin, I think the defense is good. The offense is so bad that teams are scoring points. So I agree with you. Like, I think the team in general the teams are scoring a lot of points because the offense is just doing nothing for this team. Like
the defense is always on the field, so it's going to make them more.
Kevin, did you give a prediction?
Well, it's not even that. It's like they have short fields or they have
20,
turnovers.
28-17.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so let us know what you think. How the Seahawks are going to take on the 49ers. What do you think the score is? If they'll play all their starters, go ahead and tweet at us. I am at Beatty_Matt. Sean is at Sean_Beatty. Kev is at Kev believes the first E and believes me in a 3. Let's look at some plays from this last game. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to start with a play that should scare anyone who plays the Rams. You guys might recognize this. So when I rewatch the games, I rewatched it today. I watched the broadcast. So it does help sometimes when you do watch the broadcast because they do highlight things that are like, oh, yeah, definitely take note of that. This is the play where you might recognize it, where Joseph gets the sack because they triple team Aaron Donald. So
this in the first?
This is in the first, yeah. So
yeah, okay.
I'm gonna slow it down here once he comes across for the snap. It turns into a triple team though. That's the crazy thing. Like, okay, so the snap comes on, Aaron Donald.
Watch Derek Lewis.
So they both like
Derek Lewis does nothing for the first 3 seconds of the play.
So
but that's on Simmons though. He did a stunt and Simmons has to pick up the block.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I like the double team here. I like the double team because that man's a beast. But then this man has nothing. And you know, as you can see, there are 3 guys here. Like, why are there 3 guys here? Because it's Aaron Donald. So I understand. I don't understand why the triple team came. But you know, this when you play the Rams is going to happen because
I think that's miscommunication.
It was either miscommunication or misassignment. Because
Simmons is supposed to stay.
Lewis had nobody in front of him. He's just like, and then he like just goes and turns and just pats Aaron Donald on the back saying, good job.
But like, it's not a Lewis problem. Lewis is doing fine. It's Simmons. Simmons literally just leaves his area and 69 just goes up his hole. Simmons or Lewis can't go all the way around and block him. It has to be Simmons.
Pochek is taking the block and shifting him right. And then that's where Lewis should come in with the double team. And then Simmons just it's like, you need help. I see you need, because it's Aaron Donald. And
I mean, I can't necessarily say I blame Simmons, but at the same time, that's not your assignment. That's the issue here. It's like, yes, Aaron Donald deserves this attention, and you know, 3 people are going to stop him, as we can see here.
Also,
but that frees up another guy if they're rushing.
Who's falling over right here? Is that Disley?
Looks like Disley, yeah. Or I think so.
Or is that Olsen? Yeah, I think it's Disley.
I think that is Olsen. I think you're right.
That's Olsen. No.
Yeah, that's Olsen.
Yeah, it's Olsen.
88? Yeah, that's Olsen.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, obviously this is going to be, you know, not something that they need to worry about if they're not going against Aaron Donald, but if they do see Aaron Donald again, this is something they're going to have to watch on film and kind of correct, because you're right. I mean, Simmons, he does, you know, he kind of moves him into Pochich, and then he just doesn't disengage and catch the guy that's coming into where he was. So this is just kind of a communication thing. And, Damian Lewis coming in with, God, I don't know how to say his name, but how do you say it?
Oboihi.
Okay, Abuehi. I mean, he's got him, and Dwayne Brown's over here. He's good. It's just this middle part needs to work itself out a little bit with Aaron Donald there in the middle. All right, give me another play.
But so at this moment too, if I'm Russell and I see that, my ass would be booking. Sorry,
This hole right here?
Yes, like go here.
But Russell doesn't know that hole's there. He's not looking there. He's looking downfield.
True.
But at the same time, your body should be shifting that way. That's what I'm saying.
And also, Kevin, I would agree because he's looking right at the dude coming off of the blocker here. Like, I know he's looking downfield, but
he's looking this way. He's not looking over here, though.
Yeah, I know. And when you see this man coming unblocked, get out of the way.
Play it.
Yeah.
At the same time, too, he's also his
He doesn't look there. He doesn't ever look, so he can't know that hole's there.
Right. Stop dipping left, man. His weight is shifted forward onto his front foot, so that's also very hard to pivot, to turn to go right. And then he does a weird left side step when you should be going right. But
he's going left because Tyler's on the left and DK's going left. He's trying to get to his receivers.
That's true.
Going to the right, he's going away from everybody. You can't throw across the field like that.
Well, I'm thinking. My opinion is not for a throw, for it.
No, I know that, but that's how that's what he's thinking.
And also, like
he almost juked him. Like he almost, honestly, like he almost made a great play, anyways. But the guy just made a good tackle.
And this guy does get off his block, so it probably wouldn't have worked out had he gone right. So I mean, there's a lot of factors, but yeah.
Okay, so for the next play, do you want a bad Goff play or do you want a bad Russell play?
Give me a bad Goff play.
Oh, well, it's in the second quarter. Do you want to stay in the first?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, do the 9:53. Oh, 12:24.
9:53.
Oh, sorry. You can do Kevin.
You can do either one. If this is the golf. Okay, the bad Russell plays at 12:54.
Okay, yeah. So hold on to go and stop it. That's a touchdown right there. That right there. Higbee has Adams beat. Throw it right here.
Second. Oh, you're talking right there. Okay.
Oh, no. That's where he's looking. He throws the right spot. He throws the right ball, and he underthrows him. But so now Higbee has to stop, and he undercut. Throw it here. If you just throw it there, that's a touchdown. It's a straight up touchdown. That's the play I was talking about earlier with Goff. Like, that's
I think I had this play highlighted as well. Yeah.
That's Tom Brady. That's Aaron Rodgers. That is a touchdown.
Now well, I mean, Quandre does come over. That is his assignment.
He's not getting there. That play is run all day, every day. That play is getting there.
Well, and the thing is, Cup gets open too, because at that time, the safety is actually turned toward, like right here, like play it.
Oh yeah, Cup is wide open.
Yeah, like here too.
But
like
at this point, the ball's already out. So
I think why he's open is Diggs already taken off because he's not looking down there. The problem is, like, Goff throws such a duck, and that ball stays forever down there.
Now, I heard that Jamal is dealing with, like, broken fingers. That one that's right in your hands. Like,
I think he has.
I know.
I get that, but again, like, the drop is bad, but Jamal Adams got beat on the play. Like he just did, and that should be a touchdown. Or that will be a touchdown in 2 weeks if they are playing.
By the way, you guys want to hear a crazy stat about Jamal Adams?
What?
You want to guess who? There is one player who has more picks than Jamal Adams that you would never guess.
On the Seahawks or?
No, just in the NFL.
JPP.
Oh, no. It's an offensive player. It's
It's Mike Williams for the Chargers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Mike Williams.
They put him in at the end of the game. Yeah.
And Jamal Adams has 0 on this
Jamal Adams has 2 interceptions in his entire career.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but anyways, that's not a pick on Jamal Adams' play. I'm just saying, for this play, that again is going to be a touchdown in a couple weeks. You have to clean that up. Goff screwed that up. That is. Again,
the throw is definitely under. And hold on, let's see when Diggs gets there. Because if he does lead him, that gives Diggs a little more time to get there. That's the thing. And he does need to put a little bit of air under it too.
It's less. He is slowing down now. Higbee is slowing down. He's catching this ball.
Sean's saying throw it here. like back here, because
Yeah.
Diggs is
Yeah.
not getting here. Now, if he's not throw it here, but you want to throw it back over here. That's
Because
what you wanna throw.
Higbee at this
But the
point
farther
has
you
slowed-
throw it, the more time Diggs has to get there, though. That is also what I'm saying. Yes.
No, because you throw it harder. Like don't throw this duck. I'm saying if you
He's not
actually
throwing
throw
a
it
lob.
Yeah, he threw a lob here when he should have just thrown a laser there and then get it over that safety or get it between that and that's gonna be a touchdown in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers, that's what he's lived off of for 14 years. Like you can't do that.
All right, give me another one.
Was it 12-24 in the first, Kevin?
24. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my other one. That was my bad Russ play.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mine is Russell with question marks and exclamation marks. Like what?
When I said this could be 21-6, this should have been 6 for the Rams
Oh
right off the bat.
I saw this one.
You
Yeah,
were
like,
very lucky in
like
this game.
what is
Yeah.
Russell
Very
looking at?
lucky.
Okay, well,
What is Russell looking at here?
let's
Seriously.
see. Let's see here. Let's let it play out
Yeah,
a
put
little
it
bit.
in slow mode.
Oh, hold on, let him snap it first. Yeah,
So okay, so
31 the whole way. Like
okay, so I see what he's looking at. So lock it on a little quick slant, but it should be out right now. The ball should be out right now.
Even then, if your ball's out, like you're still in trouble. This is the whole. Stop staring out Tyler and DK.
But-
there are other
yeah.
receivers.
And I
'Cause
mean,
if it misses, it could go back to him. It could go to him.
it looks like it's double cross with maybe an out, and I'm not sure what DK is running here, but it looks like it's trying to cross up the zone defense, and it doesn't work.
Can
It
you
does not
back up
work.
just right before the start of the play? Just like right near the start, because I want to see. They're running 2 deep safeties. They're running over the top, so the corners can play close.
I think it's just cover 2 across the board. Like it's too deep, and then they're just sitting in a line right here.
But that's what I'm saying.
that
Like
zone,
the corners can play up because they have safety. They each of these 2 sets of receivers have safety help over the top. So 31 could take this gamble because he knows worst comes to worst. There's a safety right next to me.
True.
And
True.
this is a terrible decision on a terrible play design.
But I don't know about a terrible play design. The quick slant works quite a bit in the NFL.
No,
Yeah.
but against this is not when you run it. Again, like the corner is going to step up there because he has help over the top. Again, he did this. The corner did this perfect. Like except catch the pass and run for 6, because there's no one catching him at this point.
I mean, he throws it so quickly that the pass rush can get there, but it's just seen all the way.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Because if the corner doesn't play up and doesn't do that, then
That's definitely
a tough
6.
first
There's
down.
Moore's not catching him in a full sprint. Okay, go to 13:32 in the second.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I saw this on the broadcast again today, and I want to see what actually happened because I feel like is it just a bad throw? Like
It's just a bad throw. Like I think Hollister is bumped off his route a little bit.
Russ drops back. He's kind of looking.
But he just straight up whiffs.
Hmm.
He is bumped. The linebacker bumps him right as he's kind of loading up for it. But it's not enough that Russell should have missed by that much.
Yeah. I think maybe that's just anticipation. I'm
What do you
not
see,
sure,
Kevin?
but it's
Well, also at my same time too, because isn't a bump after 5 yards PI?
yeah. I mean, obviously
It's not after 5
but-
yards.
Or is it within the first?
It's 5 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it's just a bad throw.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like. I mean,
That's a touchdown right there if he throws it correctly.
It should be. It will be if Aaron Rodgers. It's a touchdown. I'm just saying again, but I don't want to beat the dead horse, but that's what you're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to play these quarterbacks in a couple weeks, and you need to capitalize.
Honestly, this might be the reason why I kind of do want Russell. This is the only time we should run this ball this upcoming week is just to get Penny reps.
Yeah.
Because Penny needs to get reps.
and
I don't want to see Carlos Hyde. I don't want to see
Carson.
Only time I want to see Carlos Hyde is to give Penny a rest. Penny needs to be the starter this
And
week.
Carson needs to rest just straight up because he's banged up. Yeah.
Yes, let Carson rest. Penny needs to start. Hyde needs to be back, like the backup. Just feed Penny, get that man some reps to where because honestly, I think Penny's better than Hyde. But
I do too.
I mean, maybe Hollister got slowed down by just a little bit by that linebacker, but it's still just a bad throw.
But again,
is.
like just
Yeah,
a
I
little
know,
bit
yeah.
doesn't mean 5 yards miss him. Okay,
Well, I
go
mean,
to
but in full stride though, like that makes a difference. It does make a difference.
yeah, but it should
But
really
either
still be
way, he should
closer.
still be throwing it where Hollister is because the safety comes over, and he wouldn't have gotten there in time. But
Oh,
I think
there's
that's
no
what Russ
way.
saw there. I think that's what he was.
Go to
looking.
436. You'll know which play it is. In the second.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Hold on. Let's see if this is the one I'm.
I think this is the play that I highlighted as well.
Oh yeah, here. This one's not touched at all. Like I had to rewind it. I'm like, is Jared Goff making this play? This is the whole point of what Kevin is saying. Like, it's just a terrible throw. Like Goff might have looked better than after breaking his thumb. This is embarrassing. Like this is like how much more open can you get? What's happening? And yeah, go the other angle. This is again.
Okay.
I keep saying we were so freaking lucky, especially in the first half. Like I have multiple more plays that the Rams did just stupid things and shot themselves in the foot. Like this is clearly getting. I thought he tipped it. I thought.
God, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, like
It's a bad play on both sides, but like
it's a bad play
man.
on both sides. Now, I mean, in Goff defense, he's being chased. He's rolling against his body. Yes.
You don't have to have a good ball. There's
a
bit. There's so much room to throw this ball. Like
absolutely. But I do want to point out the factors that probably contributed to the bad throw. Now, Higbee drops it. I mean, I don't know how many drops the Rams had in this game, but it was quite a few. I would say at least 5. But yeah, that's bad throw.
That's embarrassing.
Bad hands, just overall bad. Overall bad.
This is another reason why too. It's a little like side tangent where like because there's so many trolls I see on Twitter that just think that Russell's the only good quarterback and like Mahomes just gets like has all the best. Like you gotta appreciate Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers too because like they can make plays like that versus like you see the hot trash of Jared Goff. Like
yeah.
Like respect them when you see them play good. Stop just shitting on them, but just because they're not Russell,
and Russell's not playing good this year, right now. Like what are we?
Like
yeah,
Russell has proved like he wanted to be cook. He wanted to cook, and then he showed like
Kevin's point. Other players are good at football. Like I'm like it's okay. Like other players can be good at football.
Yeah, there's going to be other good quarterbacks besides Russell.
I want to preface this play by saying I watched the broadcast and Troy Aikman said, "I have no idea what he saw there, Joe."
I know he's looking at.
I'm curious what he sees.
I do.
So
I'll show you.
Hold on,
Troy Aikman. He's going to throw it to this guy right here, Reynolds, or that's Woods.
Hmm.
He's just really bad, so he's going to throw it. So he tries to get it over him to Woods. So keep going. He just throws it. Just too much air. See, it's right over Woods' head. He's trying to lead Woods.
I mean, I guess, but that is just bad on so many levels.
Matthew, what I'm telling you is Jared Goff
is bad.
Jared Goff won the
Seahawks
the game. I told you this at the beginning.
Okay, first of all, I don't think any of us here think Jared Goff is good, right? Like, does anyone here think Jared Goff is good?
No,
I'm not trying to defend him, but it's like
Sean McVay doesn't think he's good. It pains him to watch him play football. You know it does.
Yeah.
Well, and I also thought it was funny too when they were saying on the broadcast, like if you put Sean McVay on a lie detector test, that he wants to move on from that contract. Like
yes, there is 100% like he wants to.
This is just this is a throwaway. Like there's nothing. Like
there's nothing.
There's just nothing.
And again,
that's a force.
Points.
That's a force.
And that's points he threw away. Is it first down? I can't remember what down. Go to the beginning of the play. It'll tell you.
Yeah,
first down. It's first down on the 29. That is points.
Okay.
More often than not, it's probably a touchdown.
I do want to say, I guess I can't. Where's my annotate? Covered. covered, basically covered.
Yeah, no.
These guys have stopped, and it
Well,
doesn't matter
there's
because
no
he's on the.
way
I
that
know,
Goff's gonna get it over there.
I know, but at the same time, like, run that way and give it like, look at this. There's so much. Oh, I drew like a bear paw. Anyway,
Wow.
like, but what is? I just this is when we say Russ, don't turn the ball over, this is exactly what we're talking about. Like, don't make this play,
Well,
Russ. And Jared Goff
Which
makes
is
the
funny
play.
because Russ made this Goff play basically earlier this season.
yeah, against the
Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
made two of 'em.
I understand what he's trying to do. Like, it's executed like the worst way ever possible. But maybe if you float it over KJ here,
That's what he's trying, but even
yeah.
then, like
but
So,
like
what
little-
he needs to do is just try to get whatever yards he can with his feet on the
yeah, because he's
sideline.
gonna get like
But
2.
I don't know if it was the original game where like Sherman saved his life. The Thursday night football game where Cam Chancellor was going to fucking take his head off, and then Sherman took his head off in a miniature way.
Yep.
And then he's just not ever tried to run it since. Like, he's afraid to get Cam Chancellor. And he sends Richard Sherman Christmas cards every year because of it, because he saved his life.
I just think Jared Goff is scared to run. Like, and you cannot be scared to run anymore. Like, the passers, Sean and I had a little Twitter debate about total touchdowns versus passing touchdowns. And in the NFL today, a quarterback who is not mobile is a liability. And if you have a great offensive line for the Brady's,
it's not a liability.
The Rivers, Roethlisberger does move a little bit.
Rodgers doesn't move that much.
Rodgers moves when he has to. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely, Rodgers uses his feet when he has to, and that. Like,
he does.
This is not going to be an argument,
but Goff uses his feet. He ran out of this pocket. What are you talking about?
But Rodgers in this play takes the 5 yards. He takes what is in front of him.
No, Rodgers throws it away.
Rodgers is going to run out of bounds.
No, Rodgers is notorious for just throwing the ball away.
No, Rodgers is running out of bounds in this play.
because Rodgers doesn't want to break his collarbone. I actually agree with
Rodgers has learned to
he's literally broke his collarbone twice because of stuff like that.
I think
earlier in his career, yes, I would agree with Matt, but now, no, because he doesn't want to get hurt.
But the guys who aren't willing to move anymore,
Aaron Rodgers has
going to get
more rushing yards than Jared Goff on this season. I'm just saying, they're the same.
Okay, but I'm saying overall, Rodgers.
Jared Goff has 1 more rushing touchdown.
But I think what Matt is trying to say is that Aaron Rodgers on the run
has the mobility and the willingness,
and also better, just the
better line too. But
honestly, the threat of Aaron Rodgers being able to put it downfield helps him too, just like what it does with Russell. The fact that Russell can still throw it on the line, going over on a dime, makes linebackers respect it to where they don't come up and they still play back. That's the threat that Matt's talking about.
Well, every quarterback has the innate ability to actually technically run,
but their willingness to run.
For example,
here.
Right here, if whoever is chasing down Goff, I'm not hovering back because I think he's going to make the play. I'm charging and I'm taking Goff's head off because I know he can't make that throw. If it's a Pat Mahomes, a Russell, or Rodgers, you have to respect the fact that he can still throw a pass before the line of scrimmage and make something downfield,
is a D lineman. The D lineman has to go for the head,
Russell did to David Moore. Now, on that play that we'll get to in a bit, he should never do that ever again. He should take the yardage and get the first down. But the fact that he respected it is the reason why he was able to go out and do that. And actually, go ahead and throw that play up next. Let's do that play next. Do the David Moore spectacular catch that Matt jizzed on. I think it was yeah.
Yeah, here it is. So I will say, the running quarterback is, not going to be a full-fledged thing, I think, in 5 years, but the days of planting your feet and not being able to move, that is gone. Like the Peyton Mannings of the world are gone.
How many rushing yards do you think people have now?
I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying.
He's not
I'm
talking
saying
about being
the willingness to take that space and run.
But the 5 yards that they're giving 5 to 10 yards at a time.
Yeah, but you have to respect it. 5 to 10 yards will add up, and they're not adding up.
I think you're missing my point. Just like with your rushing touchdowns.
I know what your point is. No, you missed my point the whole time. Okay. Every quarterback can technically run and does run.
Right here. God, Russell has at least to the 50. Now, yes, he makes that. But in the future, because one, David Moore is not good. And secondly, shit like that has cost him in the past. You like in the playoffs, I don't want to see that ball ever. Just because 9 times out of 10, that ball doesn't work. I want to see him take off, get the first down yardage, get past the 50, and wheel it. But
Yeah,
the fact that if there was a linebacker in his face, which there wasn't at the time because everybody fucking bit, I don't know how, they're going to run out with him until past the line of scrimmage, then they go because they know he can't throw past it.
yeah. So I mean, way to go, David Moore. Way to just show everybody how good you are. But yeah, I mean Russ, he sees Aaron Donald coming at him, so way to get out of the way. But yeah, like you said, I mean Russ could take this, but he wanted to take the shot, so I can't say I blame him. 1-on-1, and he does have the man beat.
Not
I don't.
really. Like, it's not much. He just made the play.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't beaten. He doesn't have the ability to really turn around and face the ball with the throw that was made. He's playing the man and just watching the eyes and trying to swat, which is what you have to do if you're already beat. Like you're not gonna be able to come back and make a play on the ball. Otherwise, it's pass interference.
Go back.
So
What was it was a third down on that play?
Let's go back.
Oh, you let the play go.
I did let the play go.
God damn it!
Oh wait, third quarter.
Third quarter.
3rd and 8.
Just 3rd and 8, yeah.
Yeah, like a 3rd and 8 like that. Run, for the love of God. Just because honestly, if he doesn't make that ball, how pissed would you be? Which 9 times out of 10, he's not making that ball. When he had the first down,
and we won the game because of this
honestly, that's where he threw the pick in the first game because he literally had the rushing touchdown, and he was just like, I'm gonna throw it to freaking Disley in the back of the end zone, and then
all right, you guys want to see one more play? Let's take a look at one more.
It's 7:53. It's funny. Jared Goff won the game for the Seahawks. 7:53 in the fourth. Okay.
7:53. All right.
There are 3 people on this play, and everybody's blocked. I'll let you figure it out. Everybody's blocked right here. Look at this. Everybody's still blocked.
Hold on.
Where's Jared Goff going?
All right, let's take a look here.
Where is he going? Why is he running?
So
covered. Back it up. Just back it up a couple. Back it up. Just back it up a couple.
Honestly, I take whoever's on Adams.
It's perfect. Like, there's nowhere to go anywhere. There's also this guy standing here with no one anywhere near him.
You have that option.
But again, like, just play it.
Literally, yeah. Play in slow-mo.
Where he could stand there. Just stand where you are. And he literally runs into a sack.
I mean, at least it wasn't a butt fumble, but I mean,
but like that's like he played so bad. Throw it to 34. There's like 8 yards.
Was this 3rd down?
No, it's 2nd and 10. But back up just a little bit.
So,
but like he could.
Oh, there's a safety over top. I couldn't see it with her.
No, just pause it. Like just a couple seconds ago, he can just stand here and not have to go anywhere. He can allow himself to progress to see Henderson right here. Henderson is gonna get you 8 yards. He might not even get you the first down, but it's
Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown. 3rd and 2. He doesn't have to do anything. Just be alive and breathe. And he's like, I'm gonna get sacked. Is what he decided here. Again, this is.
It's like the weird part. He decided to run on this play of all plays.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he was so bad. Like the times he did run, he runs straight into Reed. Reed has not beat his guy. This is again why sacks don't matter.
This is probably a first down right here, by the way. Too.
But again, Reed did not beat anybody. He didn't do anything he was supposed to do on this play, and he got a sack.
I also like how they triple team Puna forward here. Like
Puna again, rewatching this game. Puna's a beast.
I know Puna's a beast, but I'm not saying like triple covered. On three rushing the passer. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, just stand here. Do you have time to let people get open? Like, why are you running anywhere? I know that there's like an eternal clock in your head, but Seahawks can't rush the passer. Like, come on. And he runs straight into Reed.
I think Monet gets the sack on this one. I think he gets credit. I think that
Is that
right?
Monet right there?
Yeah,
I
that
thought it was
is.
Jaron Reed. No,
That's
90.
Reed.
Oh, 90. Sorry. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why I was like, and it's gonna look like a sack, and that's why sacks don't matter. Reed didn't actually beat any blockers. Jared Goff ran straight into him.
Yeah, Monet's not even on the field because that's Robinson, and the other one is Mayo.
And yeah, Robinson drops off.
Oh no, sorry, that's Rashad Green on the left.
Yeah, but I'm like Jared Goff played so bad. I'm just gonna say it one more time. He played so bad. He played so bad.
And like, see, here's the thing. That's the thing. If they had like an even just a better quarterback, this team is very dangerous. But they have Jared Goff, and that's their deal.
Rewind it to the beginning real quick. I just want to see
But
something.
again, if the backup had played this game, they probably still.
I mean,
specifically in this game,
to the other
he was
view.
so bad.
To
The other view. He was so bad
Yeah.
specifically in this game. Like even compared to other games we've seen him play.
I mean, the backup has never thrown a pass, so I don't know about that. But I hear what you're saying. Yes.
But again, Jared Goff has put up averaged 30 points a game against the Seahawks, and he put up 9. Like this is specifically bad.
Here's also my question: why is Alton Robinson back here?
I'm not like super pissed about that. He's just
I know,
it's like a zone scheme thing, but like
I just saw that now, and I'm like, wait, what?
I'm never a fan when they drop like Dunlap into coverage, but they do it. I don't know why, but they do it. It's like a scheme. It's like to throw off the line. I understand, but I don't agree with it. Obviously.
Yeah, like why?
Jared Goff was so bad. I'm gonna say it one more time. He was so bad.
All right. Well, let us know what you think of Jared Goff. Let us know what you think of is going to happen in the San Francisco game. Let us know what you think is going to happen in the Rams-Cardinals game and the Bears-Packers game. And let us know where you're watching and what you're thinking. Go ahead and tweet during the game. I'll probably be off Twitter since I'm back on watching it stream and I don't want to be behind. Sean, do you have that problem with Hulu?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, well, it's just me then. But, yeah, go ahead. Let us know what you think. Smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Beatty_Matt. Sean is at Sean_Beatty. Kev is at Kev Believes. The first Ian Believes being a 3. Smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on the Eli Network. Gentlemen, the season is almost over. We're going to do a nice little season recap next week. We're going to revisit some of our predictions and how we did. And then we'll talk playoffs. It should be a jam-packed episode next week. So please tune in and mark that on your calendars. After the New Year's and the holidays, we have playoff football, and somehow COVID did not derail it as much as we
yet. Like you.
Oh, sorry. For now,
Cooper Kupp just tested positive and played the Seahawks. He tested positive today.
Oh, did he?
He did, and the Seahawks are not out of the woods yet. So thanks, Matthew, for jinxing everybody.
Oh man! Yeah. All right. Well, who covered Cooper Kupp? Was it everybody? Yeah.
Right, yeah, he caught like 9 passes, so everybody tackled him at some point.
Well, I guess if the NFL makes them play with the backup defense, then what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It's 2 weeks though. Well,
Yeah.
and then beat the backups for the Seahawks defense. Can't be any
They're
worse.
now doing 7 days, I thought.
I think they're doing 7 days in tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
all right.
Pass, yeah.
Well, that is all the time we have, and we will see you next time on Washington East to West Sports.
Let Russ cook.